has me having these conversations as often as I can, and finding ways to kind of engage certain people in these conversations. So once we started talking, it was cake and butter, you know what I mean? Because he was very, he he told me what was interesting about the conversation was that, I mean, he's a queer white brother, and he was talking to me about this idea of like armchair revolutionary as like a negative thing, and or armchair revolutions are negative people. They're not active enough, right? And he was like, actually, I got a lot of my politicization from posts on Tumblr.
Mm.
People sharing things about what white privilege means or like what whiteness means that follow me and things like that. And because of that, he went and studied more, right? And got research and and started having more conversations about that, like his white privilege with his friends and his family. And I was like, you know something? That's a really good place to start. I don't give you 100% of a pass, but I'm like, yo, that's a valid point, right?
Mm-hmm.
Everybody gets information differently. Everybody is awakened, quote unquote, differently. So who am I to completely like step on your form of quote unquote activism in this moment? I think all of us have a job to do, and it takes a comprehensive view of the situation to really make effective change, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I think that everybody right now who's able to shift into this social conversation, however you feel inspired to do what you do, like we ask that you do it. You know what I mean? I feel like I went off my point.
No,
that's kind of where
that. But I was just curious about how the conversation started because you do hear that a lot. You hear the strangest conversations. Like, I was talking to this white nun, and we were talking about whether or not pregnancy. And I'm like, why was she talking to you? That didn't happen?
About pregnancy, right?
Right.
Right. I mean, it was a really rich conversation. And I think one of the pieces that really stood out for him was how intentional we were about highlighting the queer conversations. How intentional we were about making sure that like folks from the LGBTQ community are not only just present at rallies.
Mm-hmm.
Make a space for them to just show up. Like, how do we make sure we're involving their narrative in this greater conversation around what blackness means in this country?
That's so important to me. And see, my thing is, my movement, what I'm about is, I'm about us telling our stories. I'm FUBU all day long.
100%.
I'm about us telling our stories because 100 years from now, 9 white people will have started. Some white person looked up in the sky and thought, Black Lives Matter. And then it's going to be 9 white faces, and then they're going to make a movie, and it's going to look just like the Brady Bunch, and it's going to be all bad. I'm about us telling our stories. And so that's how my blog was born. I created my blog for my great-great-grandchildren who may never, ever, ever meet me. Well, I'm probably sure I'm not going to meet my great-great-grandchildren. I don't know if I want to meet my great-great-grandchildren. This world is a mess. So... I'm about us telling our stories, and so that's why I wanted to meet with you. Thank you for sitting on the couch today. I totally have enjoyed you and dig you. This is my neighbor and friend, Damon. Any last words you want to say to the people?
Yo, do something. Black Lives Matter, you know what I mean? Follow us, blacklivesmatter.com. Follow the hashtag Black Lives Matter. We're on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, all of that. I think I challenge you, whoever you are, to allow this moment not to go by. Nina Simone says, I don't want to look my daughter in the eye and her ask me what I have done in this movement, in this moment of history, and say nothing. I will have done my work in this moment. So I just encourage you. I hope that you see something that really strikes a chord.
Love it.
In you, wherever you are, to activate however you can in this moment, whether it's a conversation with your grandma, or your grandpa, with your next door neighbor, and say, hey, you heard about this Black Lives Matter stuff? Or whether it's following us on Facebook and you see we have a rally or something like that, come out, support with your body. Or if you want to financially give some money to the movement, do that as well. There's ways you can find that online as well. Just activate in this moment, so when history comes and looks at you in the face, you can say, I was a part of bringing a change in this country.
Love it. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Peace.